Hello everyone, my name is Christian. Welcome back to my hobby blog. Today I'm very excited to be recounting the latest One Piece arcs that I have been watching. I finished up Little Garden a few days ago, and then the last few days I've been watching Drum Island. And of course there'll be spoilers when I'm talking about this. If you haven't seen it, please click away. But Little Garden was one of the stops towards Arabasta that Luffy and the rest of the crew needed to go to because the electrical or magnetic pose needed to be refreshed, kind of rejuvenated, so that they could get to Arabasta in order to help Vivi and the entire kingdom from being taken over by the Baroque Rex pirate crew. And it's really fascinating because the Baroque works, I just cannot bring any energy into enjoying them. I don't know. I enjoyed the individual characters within the Baroque works, but when it comes to the organization itself, I just I don't know why. I just haven't cared about it at all. And I loved Little Garden anyways because it's a dinosaur island and it has T Rexes in it. You see some Triceratops. There's some Brachiosauruses in there, or Brachiosaurs in there, and it's just amazing. I really, really enjoyed the world of it, and on top of that, we get two giants by the names of Brogy and Dory, and I really, really loved that aspect of this arc. That was absolutely my favorite part of it. Along with the fight scenes between the two of them, the dueling, they've done like 74,000 duels in the last century or so, and everything regarding that plot line was just so much fun. I that arc just it never bored me. I was never bored while watching it, and although I don't care about Baroque works, this was when I enjoyed that aspect of that storyline the most. I really enjoyed the powers of number three, with him being like a candle wax man, and all of the things that he creates sort of later in the arc with that giant birthday cake, that tiered birthday cake made out of wax, that also has each of the pirate members as a candle. And there's a big jack-o'-lantern bowl that's like spinning on top of it, and Luffy has to use fire to rescue everybody, and it's just so much fun. I think the fighting in this arc with the Baroque Works characters was my favorite fights in this entire series. It was so imaginative, it was so unique. I've never seen like half of these fights before ever in media and fantasy or anything like that, or anime, and I just really loved it. And like I didn't think Little Garden would be my less preferred arc of the last two, when including Drum Island, because I have a lot of great things to say about Drum Island. But Little Garden was just like so fun. I just really enjoyed it, and like it was just so much fun. I really enjoyed, especially the sort of the teases to the future, because Mr. 3 has this like transponder snail that he like talks through. It's kind of like in the Cosmere, the Aeons, where you can kind of talk to people over long distances through this animal creature entity in the Cosmere at least. And we're sort of getting orders from Mr. Zero, the leader of the Baroque Works, and he is so fun. Like getting all those little teasers, you see him in silhouette. You don't really get a clear view of him because he's in his home base. We're not going to be getting all that much with Mr. Zero yet, but I was so happy like during those sections where Sanji is finding that wax cube where they were all hiding and getting all this lore about Mr. Zero. Like that was so fun. When he's pretending to be Mr. 3, Sanji is. And oh my god, it's just so fun. I really enjoyed this arc, but Drum Island, I just finished it a few minutes ago, and I wanted to get this out, but like I knew going in that Tony Chopper was going to be introduced in this arc of Drum Island, and that's a character who I've been very much looking forward to, because he's like a sentient reindeer that walks on two legs, and he is just so cute, and he wants to be a doctor and helps like everybody get better, and he wants to save his country by fixing the hearts of everybody, and I just love that. I love that attribute and characteristic of Chopper. That is such a lovely goal. I really enjoy Drum Island, but there's just so much that happens in Drum Island that I'm not going to be able to talk about all of it, but just some of the highlights. I really enjoy the character of Dalton. That's sort of our first character that we meet on Drum Island, and it's sort of like a snowy island, which I really enjoy. I love snow settings in series like this, but Dalton was just amazing. I love all the lore with the pirates that took over the island, heralded by King Walpot or Walpole. He is sort of the king and one of the 7 warlords of the sea, who is tasked by the world government in keeping piracy down. That way the world government just has absolute rule all over the planet, or however far the region stretches to. But like, I loved everything that was separate from Walpole. Like, I enjoyed Walpole for the most part. I wasn't too upset when he appeared, but I don't know, just it felt like he was always interrupting the fun stuff, in my opinion, because he himself is fun, and how he's like eating ships and eating buildings and like all this stuff. He has like a metal jaw or something like that because he ate one of the devil fruits that allows him to basically eat anything he wants, and he can even eat himself, because we see that. And we also get a lot with a lot of different animals, because this is definitely an animal centric plot line, and I loved it. Like, I love those big bunny bears that were hopping and causing the avalanche. Like, that was just so funny, and I enjoyed it. I remember I was watching it the other night, and like, I was just like, the first half of Drum Island, I just binged. Well, not binged, it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours at most. But like, I watched 4 episodes straight of One Piece or One Piece, I should say, which is about 2 hours or so, and it felt like 20 minutes. Like, I had zero issues with the first half of Drum Island, because everything with Tony Chopper was amazing. Everything with Luffy trying to get Nami to the doctor, and everything with Doctorine was so fun. I really love the lore that we get, that she gives all of our characters, because it really explains so much about the world. And King Walpot himself is trying to kill all of the doctors because they're trying to fix people's heart and make them, better people, and he doesn't need that, because then that country will become strong and all this stuff. And I just really, really enjoyed Drum Island. It was very sad as well. There was a lot of sad sequences, especially with Tony Chopper, that if I wasn't watching it with someone else, I probably would have been crying while watching those episodes, because it was just so gut-wrenching what has happened to him throughout his life, and just all the othering, I guess, because originally he was a reindeer, but the reindeer didn't accept him after he had the human devil fruit, and he was kicked out by his family and everyone he loved and left abandoned. He then was like, well, I'm not a reindeer, and I'm close to a human, and I can talk, so maybe the humans will accept me. And he goes down there, and they think he's a monster, and he hates being called a monster, and there's a lot of points in the story where I get that the characters are speaking and just, they're not being super serious, but anytime Chopper was called a monster after that point, I was like, you take that back. Like, you better not say that about Chopper and all this stuff. Because, I really, I knew I was going to be his #1 fan when I saw all the memes with him on Instagram or hearing his song. I know he has one song at some point that he sings, I'm not sure, but Like, he is the cutest thing ever, and I just love his backstory and his ideals. He is such a lovable character, and watching him struggle to find love and acceptance from other people, whether humans or animals, was just so wonderful. I loved it. This is why I watch One Piece. It makes me feel a lot. Is so deep in terms of the emotional impact of it. I think it's a very beautiful story. I remember I was watching a video that Philip Chase was doing where he was kind of it was the Weeks That Were, that series that he does where he recounts like what he's been up to, and at one point he was talking about One Piece, and he was like, One Piece is basically just my happy place, and I completely agree. One Piece is definitely a happy place for me now, because watching it I can just forget about the rest of the world, and I just love One Piece now. And I'm getting into Arabasta here this weekend. I think tomorrow night I'll start watching. But like, that's a 21 episode arc. Even on One Piece, it's a long one. So I think I'll do the first 10 episodes, kind of the first half of it, and then I'll just do the other half as a separate video. I don't know how long it will take me, but I'll try to go faster because I do have a few friends who are going to be watching with me, which will be really fun. I'll be streaming it, and both of them have finished the series, so I'll definitely get some help in terms of what I should be paying attention to and all of that. They are very averse to spoilers, so I have no worry that I'll be spoiled. But yeah, Arabasta is sort of like the first arc I've heard that becomes really important to the overall story of One Piece. So everything up until now has sort of been set up, from what I understand. And so I'm very curious and excited to see what Arabasta arc is all about and sort of seeing what happens, because there's a civil war going on. Baroque Works is trying to topple the country, just like some people are currently in our real life. And then we have this guy named Ace, who is a pretty badass looking pirate. We got him in like the final episode in the last like 5 minutes, so I don't know anything about Ace, but he is introduced in the last like 5 minutes, and then he says that he'll be raiding in Arabasta for 10 days for Blackbeard, or for the pirate who killed Blackbeard. I'm not sure exactly what he's doing, but I'm very excited for that. There's a lot going on there. We have Vivi and the rest of the crew getting her to Arabasta. So there's a lot of sort of swirling forces coming in to Arabasta, and I'm very excited to see where we go from there, because I feel like there's definitely a repetition to the story right now, where Luffy basically shows up to an island and people need help and he needs to rescue them. And a lot of it is going to be a lot of talking. And that's one thing that I'm kind of getting tired of, is the constant over describing of the devil fruit powers, because I'm okay with people just like, I don't know, I feel like every time we have a new devil fruit character introduced, I feel like so much time is dedicated to explaining what they can do and showing one at a time all of the powers, which I don't mind while watching it, but thinking back to it, I'm like, I wish there was a better way for this to be explained. And maybe this is something I just need to do for the manga. I don't know. Maybe this is just an advantage to reading the manga rather than doing the anime, because while watching it on the screen, it's just like, okay, get on with it. Like, I understand. But I'm trying to be very patient with that, because this is a long show. So I'm trying not to get too into it, but that is one thing that I have a little nitpick about with this series. But I mean, aside from that, I'm loving this. I love One Piece. It's just amazing. And I think that's about all I had to talk about. I'm really excited to see what Brogy and Dory come up next in the story, because they're from the island of Elbath, or Elbath, I think is what it's called. It's like the island of giants, and I love giants. I mean, I think any fantasy fan would agree with me that Giants is such a fun race to do really whatever you want with as like an author. And I'm really enjoying how Oda is handling Giants. I really love it. It's sort of Norse, but it's sort of not. It's sort of like a new thing, but it is so fun. I'm looking forward to seeing them, especially again. But I don't think they'll show up in Arabasta. Maybe later. So yeah, that's really it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. If you're still watching this, and please leave a comment below what you think about these arcs, because it's fun to talk about One Piece. So I would like to talk more about it. So thank you again, and please have a great rest of the day.